Morning, guys. Still just kind of get my last few little things set up here. Mm. Alrighty. We should be good to go, guys. All right, guys. We'll get a little bit more focused over here. We're just kind of chilling. Nice, relaxing day. We got 15 minutes before the market opens. Let's see. Mm, we had a lot of support on the ES around the 60, 63 area. There is a pivot here. Let's see. We got another pivot here at the 700s. Now we do have that data wick all the way down there, so you would think that that'd be kind of what we want to target this morning from that non-farm payroll wick. Let me mark out these little zones here. Long ways down there. What is that? 29, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Oh, come on. Come on. Hit it. Mm-hmm. We're just kind of marking out some zones here, guys. 843. Mm-hmm. Mm. Just give me a minute, guys. We're just trying to get these areas marked out. So what this does is it shows me where not to take trades. So basically how I use these zones is basically if I'm in a trade late and we're approaching those zones, we do not take shorts into the greens and we do not take longs into the red. So that's how I use these. So to me, when looking at stuff like this, a lot of times I like to use stuff like this that kind of like, not necessarily to show you where to take trades, but to show you where not to take trades. So for instance, I'm always a big advocate about try not to trade around previous day high. What happened the other day? I said, don't trade around previous day high. And I did it anyway, and I took a freaking loss. So sometimes it's just, and those, I don't know what it is with the previous day high, but man, it's just the market's just so choppy when we're at the previous day high. I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be the up above the previous day high, then just kind of a big sell off this morning, a few hundred points. That would be my ideal type of trading today, if that's possible. We got this big data wick back down here from 8:30 this morning. That's your non-farm payroll data wick back down at 600. So hopefully you'll get a nice move to the downside this morning. I'm just going to be very skeptical. Just the fact that it's at the previous day high and it's Friday. So my number one goal always on Friday is protect your accounts. We do not want to be jacking up our accounts on a Friday. That's always my number one goal when it comes to Friday. Protect your accounts. Hopefully, if you got young kids at school today, you got your kids off to school today, and you made it back home to hop on some charts. I know a lot of parents had to get their kids back to school today, so the lobbies may be a little slower today. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. The summertime is over. Yeah. Oh. Ah. You can see where we're bouncing at that gold line that we put there. So the big gold lines that I have on my charts, those are pivot markers. So that allows us to kind of keep track of the pivots. And I use Fibonacci pivots. There's like 4 settings for pivots. You got standard pivots, Fibonacci pivots. Let me look. Classic, maybe. I'll have to look at the names for them. Let's see. Yeah, something called Woody, Classic, DM. So there's about 4 or 5 different settings for pivots on TradingView that you can try out. I'm a big fan of the Fibonacci, so I use Fibonacci pivots. They're always not usually the same as your classics or traditional pivots. They are off a little bit, but they seem to work fairly well. We always get good reaction. We can always kind of depend on for support. We always like to kind of run to the pivots because that's usually where like liquidity or something's sitting. So what I'd like to see this morning is for us to push back into our opening 15-minute candle. I wouldn't even recommend touching this 15-minute candle this morning. It's 100 point in width or length. So big 15-minute candle. I would look for possibly for us to rerun that previous 15-minute candle from 8 o'clock this morning back into the 600s and kind of bounce out of that support this morning. So that's kind of what we're looking for this morning. And not only say that because we have the data wick from non-farm payroll. So this is the only reason why I'd be targeting 600. But I like to for us to kind of find support under the previous day high and maybe leave a little meat on the table to get down to the 600s. So that's kind of going to be the goal this morning with the fundeds. So I may take a elusive trade this morning. I think we're going to be trading the elusive fundeds this morning. We're probably less than $500 away from another payout with them. But I'm thinking about building a little bit bigger buffer because what has happened with my elusive accounts recently is I've gotten two of my elusive to payouts, but I'm taking the $500 out because I'm just one of those people. I feel like you just need to pay yourself. But what's happening, it's only leaving $500 in drawdown. And I end up basically blowing those accounts. So I really need to get the $1,500, take $500 out, then leave a $1,000 buffer. I feel like I could keep my account a lot longer and get a little bit more use out of it instead of just getting it, taking the $500 and end up blowing it. And you figure time you take the 10% and what you pay for it, I mean, that's pretty much only like a $400 payout because of the fee that you're paying for it. So let's see, what do we got, guys? We got still 5 more minutes left before the market opens, so we still got a few more minutes. Mm. I'm not really sure what that is. User 59 side you premieres to take off at opening. I am kind of curious to see what happens with SpaceX today. SpaceX is supposed to release a whole bunch of shares today. So I've been wanting to buy some SpaceX shares, but I've been kind of waiting to see what kind of not really say the buying the low, but I figured with them releasing more shares, you're going to get a lot of people selling shares because so many people and all the people that have been holding those in the very early stages. I feel bad for the people who, bought up high, especially if they're on short-term investments. So, yeah, it's tough to buy those stocks when they first come out like that. You really need to wait. Kind of, hopefully, you're kind of doing what it like Nvidia did a long time ago, where it released it, sold off pretty, charged a lot in the beginning, then eventually it tapered off. Then a lot of people got to buy at the bottom. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with SpaceX, even if it's not the exact bottom, but don't want to be buying at the top. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Even if I can just get like 5 or 10 shares starting out, then just start buying a share here and there. So I'm trying to find a good platform to buy them with, because I don't really own a lot of stock stuff. I do crypto stuff. So mainly I've been stacking XRP the last few months. I think we're almost at 600 shares of XRP. What's crazy is I used to have like 1,000 XRP and I needed some extra cash for something whenever I was buying a PC. And man, literally a few weeks later, that thing went up. I had bought it like at 50 cents a share too. So I had paid like $500 for it. And that thing ended up going to like $3 or $4. Man, I could have easily made $3 grand off that. I was like, ah, but that's part of investment. You never know, man. Never know. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes. Remember, my number one goal on Friday is to protect your account. You do not want to jack up your account on Friday where you got to spend all weekend to think about it. I am going on vacation this weekend. I don't want to be spending all weekend pissed off because I blew up some account. So if there's no funded trade for me to take, we just won't take a funded trade. I hate that we're already kind of breaking out because I was hoping for a little bit better opportunity to catch this data wick down at 600. So hopefully it leaves a little bone, a little meat on the bone for us to get a piece of it. So, and I'm also not a big fan of trading around previous day high. I took a loss on my fundage trading around previous day high the other day. So 1 minute to go, guys. Good luck if you're trading the opening this morning. Maybe if we can lose that's the ES. The ES would need to lose 54. Like I said, I want to target those 600s down there if we can. 50 seconds. There's a little bounce off the previous day high. That's at 86. If you do not have that marked out, 29,686 is your previous day high. Remember, price action around that area is super tough to trade. So just be aware of that if you're trading around previous day high. We have that pivot back up here. The gold line we have marked out at 712. The safer way would be for us to print below the previous day high, retest the previous day high. Either that or maybe out of those consolidation zones that have marked out at the bottom, take trades out of those for like a retest of the previous day high or something. All right, 3 seconds left, guys. 3 seconds. Nice little bounce off the previous day high there. Let's see, I feel like possibly gonna get a big push back up here. Very mild open. Dude, do we gotta constantly spam the effing lobby, dude? Come on. Waste my time sitting here blocking all this crap. Golly. It's like it's like nonstop every day. Oh well, we're waiting, so we got time to block. We got time to block. I wish there was a way to get it for us to block, block, block. Block. Hmm. I'm waiting for a new 5-minute candle. Crazy rip off that previous day high here. Look at the 15-minute going. Hmm. Remember, guys, I don't chase 5-minute candles either. Thirty seconds left. I mean, that's a big pullback, guys. That's almost a 40-point wick. Woo. Very choppy right here, guys. This is why I don't chase 5-minute candles. You got to wait for that second candle to come in. I know it makes you be a little bit more patient, but man, that would wreck you super quick there. Hopefully, no one got caught in that because that looked very bullish. It looks like we're about to have a breakout, then just instant rejection. All the way back to that pivot, all the way back to the previous day high here. I don't know if we can get a cheap trade under the previous day high, but we're just, like I said, just waiting. Actually, no, I don't even want to take any trades into those 600s. Hmm. This is a pretty dirty looking candle. What is that? Almost a 50-point wick, 60-point wick. See, that right there is one reason why we don't chase 5-minute candles, especially early in the morning like this, because they'll just take you out. Maybe this next candle will print somewhere down in here in the next minute, and it will break to the top side here. All right, here comes our new candle here. Hmm. What's up? What's up, Daniel? How are you doing? Just sitting on our hands waiting, man. Sitting on our hands this morning. Boy, this thing's choppy as crap. Maybe back above the 57 here. Trying to see. Massive inside bar here. Yeah, it's real choppy at the moment, man. That's what I'd like to run up. I'd like for us to run that data wick. Nice. Choppy, choppy. Like I said, guys, just still kind of sitting on our hands here. I don't know if we can get a cheap trade here above the 57, 50. Hmm. Wow, we're going to break through this order block? I didn't think we would get through this thing. Hopefully everybody's being patient and waiting, unless you're just playing the range. Hmm. Man, it's not definitely not the best for freaking funded trades at the moment. Hmm. Maybe. Man. And this thing's just ripping you on both sides, guys. Like I said, hopefully you're patient enough to wait. Either that or you're playing the range. It's definitely not anything good for me to take on fundeds. Now, if I was trading evals, I'd probably be trying to hit stuff here and there, but whenever I trade fundeds, I'm always super patient. We wait to make sure we're going to be able to get a trade without a lot of risk. So I wouldn't be interested in shorts unless we're back below the previous day high. We got to be for longs. I kind of need to be above the 880s, possibly. I mean, dude, that pivot is just insanely paying bills right now. Oh. Hopefully no one's short. I mean, not short, but trapped and over leveraged. This is the worst price action if you're trapped in this and you're over leveraged. All right. The Bulls are really trying hard. I mean, we've yet to retest that resistant area up there at the 850s. Hmm. 20 mini contracts on a short. Wow, that's pretty wild, Daniel. Woof. I don't mind the shorts. I just don't have an entry for it. Good morning. How are you doing today? No trades for me this morning. We still been just kind of sitting on our hands. I was debating on a little scalp here, but I don't know. Every trade almost feels like a trap. I guess non-farm payroll took it out of his took everything, huh? Everybody made all their money and they left. They're like, all right, we're done. Non-farm payroll, we got paid. Let's move on. Come back Monday. Nice. Hmm. Hmm. Like I said, guys, still sitting on our hands. I try not to trade with inside this 15-minute candle. That 15-minute candle was almost 100 points, guys. It's a big old 15-minute candle. It's almost going to the point we're going to wait till probably the 4 o'clock close, get a new 4 hour candle coming in about 7 minutes, and hopefully we can get some better price action. So, like I said, there's these long wicks at the bottom are showing tensions. Like I said, guys, we're just sitting on our hands. We're a lot of times we do not trade inside this 15-minute candle because a lot of times the way I usually, whenever we're thinking about trades in the morning for myself, I just use that first 15-minute candle. Basically below the 15-minute, we're looking for shorts. Above it, we're looking for longs. So right now, I'm not really interested in a short unless we can get below 686, which is the previous day high. And really out of that zone that we have marked out up there at the 80s, you really need to be back above that. You see, we've already kind of pushed back into that zone once. The gold line that you see on my chart is a pivot. We're bouncing off that pivot and the previous day high underneath. So this is why we're kind of sitting on our hands here. Maybe. What do we got? Maybe this next candle is going to be the big move here. We're waiting till the 4 hour. We're going to get a new 4 hour. We're going to get a new 1 hour, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. We're going to get all these new candles here. So especially the new 4 hour candle. All right, here we go. And I feel like we have such a big move down here. We can target 600 down here. We just don't want it to go so fast that it don't give us an opportunity. No, don't go without us. Don't want to chase. Oh, damn it. I can't chase this, guys. I really want to try to jump in on this next candle. I really need to find some kind of resistance here around the 50s. Maybe this next candle can kind of close under the 86, 85. And then we can use that previous day high as our stop loss. I mean, we got 2 minutes left on this candle. We may not get the opportunity. It may just go all the way to our zone without us down at 600. Hmm. Hmm. Come on, no. Leave us 50 points. 50 seconds left. Good morning. Runner may get stopped out here, guys. Yep. Runner got stopped out. Wow. We got our 10 points. It's just such a fake out. Hmm. Uh, Come on. Push it. Hmm. All right, nice. Woo, goodness, boy, the struggle bus. Get down there. Goodness. All right, nice 50-point trade below the previous day high. Good deal if you stayed patient with us and waited, guys. Yeah, I think we have more left on there, Daniel. That was just my funded. I was just trying to lock some in. I didn't want to fight my zone down there. So I'm okay with my 50-point trade. That was my funded trade. That's the one funded trade that we always try to look for the very best opportunity. So, woo, nice. Nice if you stuck around and waited. We were just waiting for that previous day high to get smashed. I knew there was going to be a little bit of pullback out of the teens. We always get a pullback here. And we were trying to use that previous day high here, between that previous day high and that 15-minute pivot at 12. You can see we got a nice retest of that pivot. And we were trying to take it as close to this as possible. This way we can have a short stop loss. Nice. We had to enter it twice, though. That's the only thing I hate about doing sometimes. Usually not the biggest fan about entering twice, but once it pulled back into that pivot, found resistance, because you had all those wicks right there. You had, what, about 30 minutes of candles? All right, let me get off my fundeds. That was the elusive fundeds. That puts $650 in this account, so that means we're only $350 technically away from a $500 payout with that elusive account. But I don't think I'm going to take it at $500. I really want to get that thing up to $1,500. This way we keep $1,000 of drawdown, because the last two that we've taken payouts, every time we leave ourselves with $500 of drawdown, we end up losing it. Because $500 is not very much when you're trading NASDAQ. Woo, good 25 target, guys. I'm glad we took the 25 target. I didn't know how close we would get to the bottom of 600. I definitely feel like eventually we're going back to 600. We're going to run that data wick. There's that data wick right there in 600, kind of where we got that green box at. So these green zones that I have marked out, guys, that's not really an area to take a trade. That just tells me don't take a trade there. That's all I'm using those areas for. So let's see. All right, we're going to switch over to an eval now, guys. I'm glad we waited on that 4-hour candle. That 4-hour candle gave us a nice little move. Where are the previous 4-hour candles? Also, guys, if you're new here, these little boxes here, so what these represents, this allows me to see where all the previous hour, 4-hour, 1 hour, and 15 minutes without looking at multiple screens. So these big purple boxes, these are the previous 4-hour lows and highs and 50% of the candle. The smaller one, these are your hourly candles, but they make up the 4 hours. So you know 592 is the previous 4-hour low, and the 4-hour before that's down at 520. And you can see we did not sweep that previous 4-hour low. So you would think eventually we would get down here. So this is why we kind of have this marked out here. If we can get through this, then maybe we can look for an eval trade to possibly run this 4-hour low down at the 500s. Back to the previous day high, man. Nice. What's up, Ed Pin? The smaller purple boxes, these are your 15-minute candles. This even offered another good short off the previous day high, guys. No. This is just the charts that I trade off. This is the only ones that I really use as far as the hourly candles. Man, this almost looks like a freaking. All it is that open box indicator that you select what time you want it on there. Every indicator on my charts are all level based. So either previous day high, previous day close, current open. The VWAP I don't really use. I have that on there because I have some people in my lobby that uses the VWAP. I don't really ever use it. It's there. That's that purple line. The gold line that I have on there, those are pivots. You can see I use, like I said, everything that I use is level base or some type of support resistance base. And I use those for targets. So like the trade we got in a while ago, we were taking that trade off the previous day high as we traded underneath it. And I was targeting right below the previous day last 4 hour candle or that data wick down at 600. But I like to take my targets at whole numbers. So I targeted 25 a while ago. Most of the time we're going to hit 25 or we're going to hit 50 or we're going to hit 75. A lot of times I like to trade around whole numbers as my targets because those seem to be more likely to get hit than anything. So here comes that previous 4 hour low or that data wick. I guess you can just say data wick because that's at the 600s. Usually I would even want to take this type of setup where you get the big bearish candles with this nice little green candle. I usually like to take these shorts, but we're taking it right into the whole number. So I didn't want to, man, this thing's just going to blast this thing. Man, there it goes. Just ran the data wick. Going to go and take this out. Set and forgot 27 186. Oh, oh 29 2 211. Man, I'm gonna try to hop back in here in a minute on an eval if we can. This is one of my favorite like candle pattern setups, but like I said, I just couldn't take it into the whole number. All right, guys, we're switching over to evals. I don't ever recommend following eval trades. I do take a little bit more riskier trades on evals, way more than what I would do on my fundeds. Funded accounts, we're patient, we wait. That's why we sat here and waited 30 minutes before we took our funded trade this morning. That last trade was the funded trade this morning. Evals, we're just trying to pass and get to the next step. So if you were looking for that one good trade today, this was the setup here. You had nice resistance either at the 712 or the 686. You had a 15-minute pivot at 712 and you had the previous day high there at 686. No, usually EdPen, all my trades are taken off 5 minutes. The only other chart that I watch is on TradingView, and it's a 15-minute chart. I want to see if we can push down into this area. Remember evals, guys, and we may even add into this. Let me find 95. I got to move this out of the way here. Man, are we going to break that? Really need 31 to hold here. I might have just got smashed here. Wow. I thought we would get a previous day close. Man, we just got hammered on this trade. I'm going to still give it a whirl. See if we can get out of it here since it's an eval trade. Remember, guys, eval trades only. That sucks. We just created a freaking order block. Above 86, we'll have to close. We'll just have to take the loss on our eval here. That's about to squeeze. All right. Oh, we had to get out of that one. That sucks. Come on. What a bummer. Bummer. Like I said, please do not follow eval trades. I think I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I need to trade my evals off to the side because I don't want nobody following those trades. Like I said, we are a little bit more riskier when we're trading those. Risky, risky, risky. Hmm. Sell. Hmm. I gotta wait and see if we get through the previous day high first. Nice bounce off the previous day high there. Hmm. Things being very, very wiki at the moment. All right, we got 30 seconds left for a new candle. Thirty seconds. Hmm. Hmm. You're selling? Oh, you think this would be the fake breakout possibly here? Hmm. Very twitchy at the moment. Hmm. Well, thought we would. Are you still on your short? Yeah, the 100% short. Yeah, I'm trying to wait, man. I can't sit through a bunch of drawdown. Hmm. Same, just kind of like support and resistance off either previous day low, 4 hour candles, 15-minute candles, sweeps. Yeah, just that. I don't really use EMAs too much. So like like I don't mind the shorts, but I gotta wait for we're back below the previous day high. I won't short into the previous day high. Hmm. What's up, Sauce? How's your day going so far? Little inside bar here. I'm in an inside bar here. Hmm. Nice rejection off the previous day high again. Minute 30 seconds left on this candle. What's up, America? Are you long on your position? Got less than 1 minute left on this candle here. Hmm. 30 seconds left. Hmm. I won't hold this trade because 12 is my line in the sand here, guys. Sorry about that. I'm just kind of watching my different charts here. I hate that we didn't get back below that previous day high. All right, we'll have to close that. I can't hold that any farther. I'm trying to see how much profit. What's that? About 400 bucks. Oof. Because we're just scalping. That's it. This is why I tell you guys not. I'm probably just not going to be trading evals on screen. We've already took our one kind of like trade what we look for in the morning. Usually on my funded Steve, usually somewhere between 100 to like maybe 150. Uh, we're trading 5 different fundeds at the moment. Dude, this short worked out. Man, we hit there right there at that damn pivot, didn't we? Previous day high has been tough today. Nice, Wes. We're just down to trading evals for the rest of the day. We already took our one funded trade for the day. It puts that account about $350 away from payout. So we just took our one fundeds and moved on. Well, let's see. What time is it? Lost my 15-minute candles. Ooh. It's been, like I said, very tough today around this area. I don't feel like we got a lot of funded trades today, Wes. I'm sorry, Nick. I missed your message there. What's up, Clarity? Very, very choppy at the moment. Ugh. All right, here comes a new 5-minute candle. Daniel, you still holding your short? Like I said, guys, we're just kind of sitting on our hands at the moment. Hmm. Like I said, this price action is definitely not something I feel comfortable trading funded with. Man, these things will get you chasing these shorts, won't they? I wasn't going to chase that short that time just because it got below that previous day high. We did that a while ago, and oh, you already asked me that one. I did try a short while ago, Daniel, when we got below that previous day high. That was the one I closed my trade out. Uh, no Bewley funded trades today. The only trade that we took today that was actually it was early this morning on the elusive. The rest of these have been eval trades. And I think we made 122, 130 on that trade from earlier. What's up, Prayer Kid? And we hit daily drawdown on one of our evals. Then we're up 696 on the 50K. All right. Dude, this previous day has been crazy today, guys. Like I said, it seems like anytime we're around that previous day high, it always sucks to trade around that area. At least it does for me. Be getting wrecked. How's your day been going, Prayer Kid? I prefer us to honestly go up than I would for us to go down. Hmm. Nice. I mean, it's been paying 10, 15, 20 points. So, I mean, it's definitely, if you're good at scalping, it's definitely offers some scalps, Prayer Kid. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe, maybe. It looks like we're trying to muster out some it just seems like every push up kind of has a quick pullback. Like I said, I'm just gonna be kind of just sitting on my hands, Prayer Kid. And there comes your 25, maybe. Got a new hourly candle coming up here. Every little fake out, man. Oh, if you're scalping, you got to be careful. Ooh. 20 seconds. Get a new 5 minute candle. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Maybe. Come on. How many contracts you in, Prayer Kid? I think I selected the wrong account. I gotta see what account I'm on. I think I selected the wrong account. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. This is just 2 micros, guys. 2 micros. $12 is my line in the sand here anyway. That 775 is probably a safe target. Oh, yeah. Are you trying? I know you got the good entry, Prayer Kid. And I saw him pulling the trigger on that. I couldn't do it. Mm. 765 is gonna be tough. Yeah. I'm thinking more like at least 800s. I'm not buying into the longs unless we break above 780s. This thing could still come crashing back down, guys. If we come back down there and retest the 32, I may even add in one more contract. As long as 32 holds, kind of bouncing off all these wicks. Ooh, oh, come on, dude. Get through there. We have yet to get above the previous leg swing there. Guys, I have to go to my funded futures here in about 10-15 minutes. You guys are more than welcome to join us over there at 11:30. There's the 80 break. Get up there, break it. Look at Prayer Kid with the 100-point trade. Nice trade, Prayer Kid, if you held that from the 665 or 686. Oh, look at that 80 sweep, then dump. Oh, come on. Remember, we really only had one trade today that I would recommend if you wanted to follow. Then that was that first funded trade this morning that we got 50 points out of our funded trade this morning. So you're still in. You want 800? Let's go, Prayer Kid. Heck yeah. Dude, this thing could come all the way back down to our entry, guys. So just be aware of that. At least 45. Come back down to 45 here. Top of these wicks here. All right, guys. Good luck the rest of the day. And we will see you guys. What's up, man? Oh, you're looking for a previous high. So you're saying I should probably take profit, huh, Tall? It's done already. Hmm. Hmm. All right, guys. We'll just stay around break even spot and see what happens here. All right, thank you guys for watching, and your guys are more than welcome to join us at my futures in about 15 minutes. It'll be me and Methodical over there for an hour, and we will see you then. Everyone have a great weekend. If you're in a trade, um, mm, you don't think we could sweep the? I'm going to hold this no matter what, since we're already in long. We've been long since about 7:30, pretty much when we broke this previous swing here. And this is just the one micro runner left. So, all right, guys. Thank you. Everyone have a great weekend.